You are now listening to AB on the Unpopular Opinion Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unpopular Opinion Sports Podcast. I'm AB.
And it's your boy, Pat.
And we got a special recap episode in store for y'all. Week 5 of the NFL is over. We're going to give y'all a recap of the games between the Raiders and the Chiefs, the Buccaneers and the Bears, and the Eagles and the Steelers. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pat, what's up, boy?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man. So we saw the Bucs and the Bears. We're going to start there first. Tell me your takeaways from that game.
The Bears coulda and shoulda lost that game. The Buccaneers kind of shot themselves in the foot, though granted their whole offensive skill players are all banged up. Leonard Fournette's out. Yep. Mike Evans played, but he was banged up, questionable all week with an ankle injury. Chris Godwin's out. Even Scotty Miller, who's their third option, is hurt. You know, he got a groin injury. Mm-hmm. So their best receivers were Tyler Johnson, who had a pretty good game, 4 for 61, and Gronk, who had 3 catches for 52 yards. Mm-hmm. Those are their top 2 receiving threats. Ronald Jones is really the reason they were in that game. He ran 6 yards a carry. It was like 17 for 106. Mm-hmm. Great game for a guy like Ronald Jones. He's a nice, strong back, but once they come back healthy, I feel like they'll do a lot better, man.
This game is on Tom Brady. I told y'all that cliff was coming. Yeah, he had a good game last week, but I'm not trying to hear it. This loss is on him. When you go 25 for 41, when you only have 253 yards, you only get 1 touchdown. I know he didn't throw any picks, but he had a QBR of 57. That's not good. He had the running game going. Ronald Jones looked great. 17 for 106. What more can you ask for from your running back that's giving you 6 yards per carry? You know what I mean? And they need to put more emphasis in getting Gronk into the offense. One of the things that we talk about the Bucs is their depth. We talk about they got tight ends, they got wide receivers, they got everything. So I'm not trying to hear those excuses. You should be able to beat the Bears. Nick Foles has a number on him. Let's go ahead and call it what it is. He got that mental block. That's what it is.
No, we're going to stop you right there because that is pure bullcrap. The only reason that they really were able to win that game, yes, that game's on Tom Brady, but his receivers weren't getting open. You look at Mike Evans. Fuller was jamming Evans up at the line. Nobody could get open. Khalil Mack was all in Brady's face the whole night. He looked great, but he was talking junk. He was in his ear. Brady was pissed, but it was nothing he could do because his receivers aren't getting open. If your receivers aren't getting open, you can't pass the ball.
Well, I mean, when your receivers only run 5 yards per route, because that was the receptions that he always get. He always get them little short routes, and they go for 20 yards. I'm not trying to hear that. No excuses. Nick Foles came through in the clutch like he always does. My boy Saint Nick, he had no running game. Montgomery only gave him 29 yards rushing. That's pathetic.
Montgomery's not, they never run the ball well.
Well, they only had 14 carries total, and 10 of those went to Montgomery, and they only had 29 yards
on those 10. Yeah.
And Allen Robinson played great. He did his job. I like Allen Robinson. I'm starting to see the greatness that people are talking about with him.
Hey, man, that's why I went and got him on my fantasy team.
He's looking good. Well, let's go ahead and get into the next game. Browns Steelers. No, I'm sorry, not Browns Steelers. Let's
Raiders
talk about
Chiefs.
Raiders Chiefs. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and get into that. Raiders Chiefs. Tell me what you thought of that game.
Man, Henry Ruggs took the top off the Maybach with this game,
yes.
man. I like the way that he's playing. Henry Ruggs, he's the fastest receiver coming out of this class.
Easy.
Maybe one of the top in the league already, which says a lot. And he had a nice 72-yard touchdown, which he showcased that speed.
Yep.
He had another big catch over Sharkandrick West. Huge catch. Went up there and got it, snagged it, took the ball from him. I love seeing stuff like that, man. Then it was a terrible look for the Chiefs because the Chiefs are always great at playing from behind. You see what happens when they get the lead. They were up 21-10 in that first half, and the Raiders were able to tie it at 24 about a half. No other team has scored 20 points on the Chiefs' defense this year. They had 24 at the half and were able to put the icing on the cake at the end with that pick from Jeff Heath on your boy Mahomes, his first pick of the year.
Yep. And we got to give my boy Carr some credit. I always take up for Derek Carr. That's my dog.
This is your man. That's your boy.
I'm saying, bro, like, he really is playing well. I'm proud to see what he's doing, and he's always had this. People just, he had a lot of injuries. He had things going on. The team wasn't very good. You know what I mean? And when you put all the pressure on the quarterback, it's a lot easier. You see that O-line, he only had 1 sack. That's great offensive play. When you drop back 31 times and you only get 1 sack, that's amazing work by the offensive line. QBR of 92. Derek Carr is doing his job. They got him a receiver, which basically, if you would have put Antonio Brown there, which he should have been available for the Raiders last year, instead of Henry Ruggs, I know those are two different quality players, but you got to give him some weapons. Nelson Aguilar playing great. A former Eagle, which people
because he got somebody that can walk into him.
Yeah, well, no,
he got somebody that can walk into him.
He had drop problems. I don't know what his mental was last year, but he's looking great for Las Vegas. And Darren Waller balling out of control. Tyreek Hill, his little brother, a baby version of him is who he was playing. Henry Ruggs is a baby version of Tyreek Hill, and I love to see what they doing with him.
Oh, yeah, man. That Raiders defense was flying around all game. Even if you look at that play where Mahomes threw the pick, they only rushed 3 people and were still able to get pressure on Mahomes where he had to step into the pocket and still got hit releasing the ball. Threw the ball into a terrible area. There were 4 white shirts on the spot of the ball, not to mention the other 2 guys that were close in the area. Anybody could have made a play on that ball. He didn't want to win that game, man. Mahomes looked real human that game.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he threw for 340, so
yeah, but he still,
but he still had a good game. But his percentage was pretty bad. He was like a little over 50%, so you can't have that. Let's go ahead and get into the Eagles and the Steelers, which my boys took another L, and I was wrong. I'll admit the Steelers are playing really well. Tell me what you think about that game.
Hey, I told you early that Steelers team is looking great, man. That defense is scary. That defense. Against y'all, granted, y'all's O-line is terrible, riddled with injury.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? But they had 5 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, and 11 QB hits.
Right, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? And I know people get on Wentz. I'm always going to be here to defend him, so people ain't going to have to worry about that.
You got to stop that.
But no, I'm going to defend him because there's no offensive line play. We have no O-line. Like, he took 5 sacks, I think, in this game. And like you said, he had pressures on top of that. He's always having to step up, roll out of the pocket, make some amazing play just to get 15 yards.
He broke a couple beautiful sacks.
I'm saying, but he does that on a weekly basis. That's not like something, a surprise at this point. That's something that he does. Yeah, he had 2 picks, and people going to pay attention to that stat line. One of them was just a Hail Mary that he just threw just to try to keep hope alive in the game on a 4th down. And then the other one was a bad pass. I think it was a miscommunication between him and Ertz, because if you look at the route, Ertz was continuing to go like he was doing like an in route, but he stopped, in the zone coverage. And, the corner made a great play.
Steven Nelson's a good zone corner, too.
Yes.
He might not be the best in man coverage, but he plays his role, and he plays it well, man.
Right. And, Wentz has some great throws. Fulgham looking great. I love it. But I'm going to say this directly into the camera because I'm tired of this. Doug Henderson, you're going to get fired if you don't continue to use the run game. You have to run the ball, sir. You have to run the ball. I'm tired of it. Why does Miles Sanders break off for 74 yards on a play, made an amazing play, and yet he only had 80 total?
Because on those 10 other carries, he only produced 6 yards.
I get that, but
and y'all fighting an uphill battle. You can't keep running the ball fighting an uphill battle.
You have to. You have to make the defense at least believe that you're gonna get the ball.
But that's how they got that 74-yard run. It was a draw play. It was 3rd and 9. They ran a draw. The whole defense bit, and Miles Sanders was able to just use his speed to get outside.
He got to get more than 11 carries, though, bro. I get that they weren't doing much with the other ones. I get that. But you have to keep the defense honest. You can't just make them believe every time that Winston's going to throw it. That's easy pressure. That's why we got 10 pressures.
And another thing, man, Chase Claypool, I don't know if this is a real deal or if this was just a show out on a bad defense. But the man had 4 total touchdowns.
No, let me talk about this. Jalen Mills,
that slant route that he caught on Jalen and took it to the crib.
It was a cover 1 defense. I looked at this play like 5 times. It was a cover 1 defense. Bro, he did a simple jab out, jab in. That's all he did. And he took it to the house. Jalen Mills wasn't even really in the play.
He turned his hips. That's where he messed up. Once Claypool did the out jab, he turned his hips. And anyone knows, in football, if you're a DB, you turn those hips, I got you beat. As soon as those hips turn, you're already beat.
Look, man, the Eagles got to figure it out. Somebody got to win that division, right? Well, that's it for us today, man. We had a lot of fun today. I hope y'all really enjoyed the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do have the Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. We are in Vibehouse Studios. You can catch us on Thursdays mornings. We drop in every morning on Thursdays at 7 a.m. So be on the lookout for those. Make sure you turn that alert bell on if you want to know when we're dropping and things like that. And we're going to just keep these rolling, man. We hope y'all enjoyed it. Until next time, we out.
And by the way, Le'Veon Bell is on the market. I alert, Le'Veon Bell is on the market.